Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another awesome Minecraft video for you guys today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a big add-on showcase for you guys. This add-on is the one and only Godzilla add-on. As you guys can see, there's a lot of Godzilla related mobs, including, all the kaijus, King Kong, and all that. I'm gonna try to showcase all of them today. But right before we showcase this mod, if you guys could do me a favor and help me hit a like goal, that'd be absolutely crazy. If we could hit, maybe let's try to go for 4 likes for today's video, that'd be awesome. Go down there and slap that like button down below, and I guess it's time we get started. Okay. So this is Godzilla mod. Legacy of the Titans, I'm pretty sure is the exact name of this mod, and as you guys can tell, it adds a lot of Godzilla-related mobs. So in order to stay a little organized, I want to have this chest right here for mobs we've already showcased. So before that, though, there's this very important item called the Titan Class Stats Info item, the Monarch item, and it lets you kind of check out the information on basically every single mob that exists in this add-on. So Titanus Godzilla, or Titanus Ghidorah, as it's said in Japanese. Yeah, there's a lot of information here that you can feel free to read. We'll try to maybe bring it up if we can, but some of these numbers are just way too big that, well, it's just gonna be kind of a pain. So you know what, we're gonna start off with these guys, and I'm gonna show you guys something cool you can do with almost every mob in this add-on. Okay, so obviously we're gonna start off with the star of the show. Over here, we have Titanus Ghidorah, also known as Godzilla. 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty. Check this out. Okay, so first things first. We have a lot of information when it comes to Godzilla, right? This is the pre-evolved form, almost 2 million HP, 37,000 attack with its melee damage. It has a tail attack and a stomp attack that does around 95 to 99,000 damage each, and it has the atomic breath attack that does 38,000 damage per hit, and the atomic drill, which is basically the same thing. Now, the cool thing is, okay, let me show you guys a cool feature with this add-on. This works on basically every mob. If you have an end crystal and you right-click, the mob, first of all, it stops moving, right? And then if you right-click again, check this out. Yeah, you can or not even you can control the mob, and oh my gosh. You see how powerful Godzilla is? By the way, there's also camera controls here, so if you want different points of view, if you want to see, way more around you, it is really easy to do, really easy to control, too. It's in the taskbar, but, other than that, it just gives you a cool, I guess, way to just control stuff. And by the way, this is with the atomic breath. Like, you press control, you can exit the mob and all that, and yeah, pretty cool stuff. Also, another thing that you can do too is a lot of these mobs do interact with each other. So if you're familiar with the Godzilla lore and all that, you can kind of imagine how specific, I guess, mobs interact. Like, let's say you have Godzilla down, right? And then, Kong happens to be nearby. Oh, yeah, no, these guys, they're gonna fight. It's gonna be crazy. It's super duper cool. And look at that. So after they do all have pretty much an entrance animation. So after that, you can imagine they'll both just fight each other. So you can literally witness a whole kaiju battle in Minecraft if you wanted to. And poor King Kong, dude, had to just kind of stand there and take it. No idea why he's not attacking right now when he normally should be. But all right, let me show you guys some other cool stuff. So, like I said, with Godzilla, you have other forms of Godzilla, right? So, I don't remember this too well anymore, but okay. There's this radioactive source item that exists, right? And you could activate it near Godzilla. So there we go. Stuff is happening. I don't know what he's shooting at, let's be honest. And there we go. Godzilla became Supercharged Godzilla, and, with the information we have, Supercharged Godzilla has pretty much the same health. It has, pretty much the same melee damage. Not a lot changes, but it has a new attack called the Supercharged Pulse. So, you know what? Let me show you guys what that is. A great way to show you guys is to just, take control of it. So, end crystal, and then, bam, alright, and then now, this thing right here, you kind of, charge up. and then it releases this big energy wave that kind of like destroys everything nearby in terms of mobs and all that. So it's pretty OP, but yeah. Okay, Supercharged has its own spawn egg too, so let's do that. And now there's this other radioactive source right here. We're gonna activate this one this time. Alright, so Supercharged Godzilla gets instantly knocked out. You can see a lot of energy coming around with the radioactivity and all that. You know, the radiation's like getting seeped into Supercharged Godzilla. And any minute now, I'll grab the spawn egg just in case. And then we're gonna have this just in case. Check this out, hey buddy. Feel free to wake up. I love the way it's incorporated. There we go. All right. So, from normal Godzilla to Supercharged Godzilla to Evolved Godzilla. And with Evolved Godzilla, we have a lot of more power added on. So now, you know, where is it? There we go. Literally 3.7 million, really 3.8 million HP. It does 40,000 damage with his melee attack now. The tail attack and stop attack are pretty much the same-ish, but it has a evolved atomic breath that does 45,000 damage per hit, and a supercharged atomic that does 75,000 per hit. So, also there's a spawn egg for all these guys, and like I said, you can just control them if you want to see the attacks, which is pretty much what we're gonna do. So there we go. And then, alright, let's see, Titan Roar, Titan Super Skill. I think it's that one, right? Look at that. Alright, alright. We're gonna exit so you can see it from outside. Yo. Look how insane that actually looks. Wow. Okay. But, yeah, for the most part, that's the, different forms of Godzilla we have. There's actually another one called Thermonuclear Godzilla, which this thing just looks so awesome. It looks like Godzilla, but made out of magma blocks. Look at that. Dude is constantly on fire. Like, he's so on fire. I'm gonna show you guys something cool. First of all, if we get close, we're instantly gonna get on fire, right? And mobs that so happen to be close by, yeah, they just burn alive right then and there. So, stats-wise, though, we have a lot of really cool info on this. Pretty much the same amount of health as Evolved Godzilla, but the melee is slightly less. But it has a thermonuclear pulse that does 870,000 damage, which is insane, and a stomp that does 750,000 damage. So this thing is really, really overpowered, and it's just really, really cool. Like, check this out. Alright, we're gonna stay near Evolved, see if we affect him. Alright, we actually did manage to do some damage to Evolved, but, you know, the dude has a lot more health, right? So let's try to stomp. Yeah. Evolved is really one of the strongest mobs in this add-on, so you can kind of expect, you know, this to basically beat almost anything else in maybe one hit or two, so pretty insane stuff. Okay. So, I tried to cover the Godzillas as much as I could. I'm definitely going to be missing some information just because I do want to cover as much as possible. So, if you guys have any more info, feel free to let me know. But, let's move on to the next mobs. Okay, so right after Godzilla, I guess we'll mess with the Mecha Godzilla and all that. But, we're also going to try to mess with the Kongs. So I guess first things first is, let's start with, you know what, let's just put you guys here for now. We can grab you guys right after. Let's, wait, we also need, oh, my end crystal disappeared. I just realized, okay, I thought okay, there we go. All right, so we also have a Mecha Godzilla, and in terms of design, dude, this thing just looks so cool. It's exactly as you would imagine. Check this out, 3, 2, 1. Look how cool Mecha Godzilla looks. Like, dude. I really have nothing else to say, but they just completely knocked it out of the park with the design. So, Mecha Godzilla has information here as well. Almost 1.9 million HP, melee damage just 38,000. So, it's very similar to Godzilla with all its attack. It's pretty much, you know, like robot version of Godzilla, right? As you would, you know, imagine it. And the cool thing is, like every other mob, you can control it as well, so feel free to control it if you want to see its moves. And I like how it shoots these missiles. Check this out. I don't know why. I really like those missiles, and, you know, you shoot out a photon beam and all that, so pretty simple stuff, pretty easy mob to showcase, I guess, so yeah. But I guess that's technically it for all the Godzillas, if you guys count that as one. I'm really not sure what to consider that as, but yeah. You can also have that thing fight Godzilla if you want to, so pretty awesome stuff there. A lot of, you know, versus battles opportunities, but okay. Aside from that, let's move on. Okay, when it comes to Kong, we have two different variations. We have Titanus Kong and King Kong. And honestly, they're both very similar stats-wise. Check this out. If we check the stats for both Titanus Kong, check that out, right? The Godzilla versus Kong variant and the Godzilla X Kong variant. We have, like, so much information and pretty much very similar stats, but not really. Like, obviously the Godzilla X Kong one is better, so it's just, you know, dependent on the lore. But I guess I'll showcase Titanus Kong first. So there's Titanus Kong without, you know, the axe, and Titanus Kong with the axe, which you can just spawn in the ancient axe, and then I think Titanus Kong will just pick it up himself. Buddy, it's like right here, come on. Maybe we gotta put it closer. There we go. So, yeah. And just, you know, very small stuff changes with both of them. He just gains a lot of new attacks involving an axe, so you guys can see that here. But the newest, I guess, you know, addition is the King Kong, which this one is from Godzilla X Kong, right? So you have King Kong, and this one spawns in with the axe right away. You also have one with the Beast Glove, which it just has, you know, just a Beast Glove, right? Or you can have one with the Beast Glove and the axe. So, pretty insane stuff. By the way, this is what Project Powerhouse is. You know, if you have it right here, it'll send in right in that shadow the Beast Glove, and then, you know, Kong will kind of just wear it, right, when he interacts with it. But in terms of stats, yeah, you know, just different attacks, you know, a little bit of health gained, and melee damage definitely increases each time, as well as, you know, some newer attacks. But yeah, obviously the one with both the glove and the axe is the strongest, and it's just pretty awesome stuff like that, okay? So pretty cool, pretty cool. We also have, like, okay, check this out here. Let me just put this stuff away. All right. We also have a bunch of, I guess, the other monkeys, all right? I'm not too, I guess, knowledgeable when it comes to really a lot of King Kong lore, or not King Kong lore, but Godzilla lore regardless. So if you guys have more information, feel free to let me know in the comments. But we have the Great Ape. So these aren't, like, too strong of mobs, but they do exist. You got the Great Ape with the red stripes. So, as you guys can tell, red stripes and carrying some sort of weapon. We got the Scar King. Dude, this guy looks so cool. It uses that thing as a weapon. It's so awesome. And we got Suko. So, yeah, we don't exactly have too much information on this guy. We've got Scar King's info, which he definitely isn't strong compared to all the other mobs and all that. We've got information on Great Apes, which are honestly much weaker too. Besides Suko. Suko is insanely strong and all that. But it's just pretty cool that we have, like, a lot of these guys to work with, and, you know, we don't just have, I guess, the super big kaijus, which are still more. Like, we still have yet to see Ghidorah, Tiamat, all stuff like that, right? So just brace yourselves if you guys are waiting for those, because we do have a lot more to showcase. So let me put these away, and let's keep going. Like, we have Behemoth, guys, we got Abaddon, like, we have a lot to show off, and Shimo, oh my goodness, Shimo, guys, absolutely crazy. Okay, I guess we'll go with the bug-like characters. Okay, so we got Mosura, or, you know, the Japanese pronunciation, Mosura. I'm hoping I said that correctly. We're going to go for Mosura right now, though, so you can either, you know, just spawn in the egg. So it works just like an egg, right? It'll hatch out of this thing and all that. It's kind of cool how if you push the egg away, you can see the larva, right? Or you can just summon the larva. So, pretty cool. Eventually, this guy will, you know, either turn into this variation of Titanus Mosura. By the way, the glow, absolutely amazing. Check out the wings. Yup. Or this variation right here. Look how awesome that is. And in terms of, I guess, stats, dude, pretty strong, right? 1.3 million HP. You got the melee isn't honestly the strongest thing, 9900, right? But the double slice attacks are actually really strong, as well as the sting, and the god ray does 30,000 damage per hit. And just like the other mobs, I'm pretty sure we should be able to control this thing. So let's give it a shot. Hey, stop moving. There we go. And then, yeah. So if you just want to fly around as a, you know, Mothra, feel free to do that. And you got some attacks going on, so pretty cool stuff. I don't know. I just love how we have the opportunity to play as these mobs if we wanted to. Okay, now for MUTO. By the way, get out of there. That's right. We got male MUTO. These are amazing, like, designs, by the way. Absolutely love it. You got female MUTO. And then you have Queen MUTO. Ooh, look at that. The Queen gets a much crazier entrance. Ooh. Alright, and we also have information for all these characters, so here we go. Female MUTO and Queen MUTO are... They're all pretty much, you know, similar in terms of HP. They have pretty similar melee, besides male MUTO being much weaker, apparently. And different, like, strong attacks going on, though. But I will say, the designs for these guys are just absolutely insane. And wow. I really don't know what else to say about them. But, yeah, okay. Let's move on. I knew this was going to be a big one, but I didn't think, you know, we'd have this much, like, time, right? Alright. Next mobs. Ooh. Alright. We're gonna try to, do this in a decent amount of time because we have a lot to show still. So, a big one. This one might be my favorite. I'm not too sure. But in 3, 2, 1, Titanus Shimo. First of all, absolutely love the model. I don't know why. This just looks so good to me. Yup, do your roar. And let's read up on your lore right here. Where the heck is Shimo? Here we are. Alright, Titanus Shimo. 4,798,500 HP, guys. That's literally almost 5 million HP, you know. Not really, but it is. 40,000 melee damage. Its tail and ground slam attack have, like, 125 and 129,000 damage, and it has a frostbite blast that does 30,000 damage per hit. So this is nothing to sneeze at here, and maybe you will sneeze considering how cold it might get. But all right, let's try to take control of you. Alrighty, dude, check out how cool this attack looks. The frostbite blast, guys, come on. All right, we kind of broke it. Oh, okay. We're not supposed to have your power still? Yep, there we go. Alright, but dude, Shimo, come on. I love having this thing fight against, like, different Godzilla forms and all that. It's just so cool, and yeah. Okay, now this one, it might not be my favorite, but it's definitely in the top 3. Check this out. 3, 2, 1. Titanus Ghidorah. I know, very epic entrance, so literally changes the weather whenever he shows up and all that. And check out the stats, alright. So first of all, there we go. Second of all, alright. Where are we at with your stats, Ghidorah? Where's your, wait. Where are your stats? Am I blind? Oh, Monster Zero, right, I forgot it's also called Monster Zero. Alright, so 1.9 million HP at this point, 37,000 damage with his melee, it's a 3-headed slam attack, does 99,000 damage with the high slam attack doing 95,000 damage. It has a gravity beam that does 32,000 per hit, and a supercharged radial damage that does 33,000 per hit. Now what does that mean? It's pretty strong, and I mean, it isn't like super OP HP-wise, but everything else is just like, wow. So there we go. And then, dude. Look, we're literally shooting lightning. Like, what else do you want? And then this move right here. Like, come on, guys. What do we actually want besides this? Oh my gosh, we actually got pushed back while in creative mode. Dude, look. I don't know about you guys, but this Ghidorah just looks absolutely crazy, and I love it. Alright. We still have a lot more to showcase, Ghidorah, so I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we have to get rid of you and your weather. But you did, you know, kind of, showcase something really awesome. Alright, next mob. Now, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, so someone feel free to, you know, correct me. But I'm pretty sure it's pronounced, Methuselah, right? So, I actually don't know anything about Methuselah. I just know about it because of this mod. But in 3, 2, 1. Bro. Look how crazy it looks. I love how you have trees on the spine. But okay. Methuselah, let's see. There we go. It has a ton of HP, like literally even more HP than Shimo. Look at that. Almost 5 million. 30,000 melee damage as a ground smash attack that does like 110,000 damage, and another one that does 105,000 damage. So, yeah. Not a lot of, you know, super dynamic attacks, I guess, but it's still pretty strong in its own right, and, you know, big mob, right? Big mob. You really don't want anything else but that. So you can do some ground slam attacks like that, and pretty simple stuff. So, alright. Next mob we got is Scylla. I actually know about Scylla, I just don't know a lot about Scylla. So 3, 2, and I'm gonna put you here. 1. There we go. Yep. The mouth is always kind of crazy to me. I don't know. Like, how do you have spider legs, but everything else is just not like a spider? Alright. Scylla. Do we have any info in here? Yes, we do. Alright. It's not the most powerful thing in the world, and apparently there are 2 different variations. You got the King of the Monsters variant and the Godzilla X Kong variant. The Godzilla X Kong variant is a bit more powerful just HP-wise, but yeah, actually, did we even get both? I feel like I didn't get both spawn eggs. Oh, no, I did get both. Okay. I'm not sure which is which, so you super fans, feel free to let me know. But here's both variations right next to each other. That one had a way cooler entrance. I can't even lie. But, you know, definitely a different color variation. I think this one might actually be bigger. I'm not too sure. But they do fight each other for whatever reason. That's a lot more surprising than I expected. I feel like the one with the most health will win, so yeah, but why do they fight each other? Huh. I've actually never spawned both of them at the same time, so I kind of did not expect that. Okay. Either way, next mob. Alrighty. Alright. Ooh, we got 5 more mobs here. Actually, we got another spawn thing, but that doesn't really count. Alright. So, Rodan. I honestly don't have too much to say, but it looks cool. So when you spawn it in, really insane entrance. Alright. Information-wise, let's see what we got. Where is it? Am I going too fast? Oh, there it is. Okay. 1.35 million HP, right? 900 melee. It's not the strongest thing, but it can fly and has a thunderclap attack that does 90,000 damage. So, yeah. It also does a barrel roll, so that kind of makes it super cool already on its own. So, let's see. Where's your, trying to find your... Come on. Let me take control of you. Oh my gosh. I want a barrel roll. Do we just spawn in another one? I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna spawn in another one and take it right away. There we go. Alright. There we go. Now, how do I do a barrel roll? Heavy attack. It kind of like goes up and then, yeah. There we go! Look at that! I just wanted to do the barrel roll, guys. Don't actually fight. Come on. Okay, chill. And did we break it again? Default deep. There we go. We need to, like... What just happened? Okay, that's fine. We can fix that later. Alright, next we got Titanus Tiamat, and it is exactly as you'd imagine. So 3, 2, 1. Dude, look at this entrance. Yup. Alright, so Titanus Tiamat, 890,000 HP, 30,000 melee damage, 25,800 roll attack, 75,200 jump attack, and an acid breath that does 10,000 damage per hit. This thing looks absolutely cool in the water, but I do kind of want to take it over, so... Come on. Where is your... There we go. Alright, we kind of got it to glitch out. But we can spin. I don't know why things are moving like this, but... Alright, let's just hop off. Alright, that glitched out, which was really weird. I don't know if it was because of Rodan, but... Alright, Tiamat looks awesome. Okay. Next we got... Let me just get the end crystal just in case I want to use that again. Alright, next we have the Ion Dragon. 3, 2, 1, and go. I love this thing. Look how dramatic the entrance is. Yeah. Alright, Ion Dragon. 1,095,000 HP, 9,900 melee attack, 90,500 with a tail swipe attack, and the Ion Saliva attack does 10,000 damage per hit. Now, do you know what that means? We need to see what the Saliva attack looks like, because that's definitely the craziest looking one. So come on. When these guys start flying, it's so hard to find their hitbox, because you need to use the end crystal on their hitbox. So usually you want to do it when they spawn in if you really want full control right off the bat. But I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the Saliva attack. I know, it's kind of gross, but that's the strongest attack that it has. Alrighty. Okay, next. Titanus Abaddon. I think that's how you say it, right? So 3, 2, and 1. Yup. I hate the face. I don't know why. Like, it looks great model-wise. I just don't like it. Alright. Abaddon, right? Alright. 790,000 HP. It does 38,000 damage with its melee. A ground stab attack that does 59,000 damage. And a head stab attack that does 85,000 damage. Now, they're not necessarily the flashiest attacks, right? But they do exist. And, oh, did I not? There we go. Alright, and then... Yeah, see, it's not like the flashiest attacks, it's just, you know, being attacked harder, and, you know, being attacked with one thing, so... You know... Yeah. Let me default view this before I get out. And pretty simple. I really don't know what else to say. And last but not least, we got Titanus Behemoth, and... Dude, this was a really long add-on showcase, but I definitely could have gone better in detail, but I did want to show you guys in a pretty decent amount of time. But here we go. Behemoth looks so cool. Like, dude, what else do you want from a mob? Alrighty, let me read this. Titanus Behemoth, 998,000 or 989,000 HP. It does 40,000 damage with its melee attack. It has a ground smash attack that does 110,000 damage, and an uppercut tusk stabbing attack that does 155,000 damage. So it has a pretty strong, you know, moveset and all that. But hey, let's try it out ourselves. So here we go, and then all right. Pretty simple stuff, right? Not the flashiest looking moves, but yeah, it does the job, I feel. You know? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. It's pretty intense, pretty insane, but this add-on definitely has a million things that you can try out. You also even have the HEAV, the Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicle, which, yeah, it's this thing right here. And then obviously, you know, you can pilot this thing. I'm not the best at piloting it, but I can do it. So there we go. Come on. Or maybe I am somewhat okay at it. I'm trying to get back to the chest. I don't know why it gives you a shoulder view, which I don't think I'd like. The back view is probably the best one, or back view times 2 if you want to see more, but you know. Alright, there we go. But yeah, I don't know. This add-on definitely has a lot of things, especially if you're a big, like, Godzilla kaiju fan and all of that. And like I said, you can, you know, just spawn these guys in and have them fight each other. You just are that type of, you know, I guess, person where you just want to watch a bunch of kaiju fights, which, yeah. Either way, though, that was the Godzilla add-on. Let me know what you guys thought about that. Let me know, dude, this pig kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys did enjoy, drop down a like, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you all next time. Peace, guys. Bye.